Hi, how's it going? Welcome to Good Game Have Fun. I'm THP, and I'm probably the antithesis of what YouTube wants right now. I like to talk about anime girls, particularly the sexy kind. I curse and say stupid stuff all the time. I'm not afraid of posting very long videos where I just ramble on and on about a topic. And finally, I'm probably the only idiot on this entire website that thinks that he can still make it by doing a lot of Let's Plays. But even then, it hasn't been impossible to get my videos monetized. Even all of the anime stuff with some sexual content in it does get monetized most of the time. Up until recently. So here's my computer screen, and here are all of the videos that I've posted so far as of recently. And so you can see that, you know, anime reactions, you know, the JoJo stuff is monetized, Dragon Quest is monetized, but then we get the Senran Kagura, and you immediately start seeing yellow. You know, like that specifically is the thing that is not getting any monetization. And I did find it strange because whenever I have these big recording sessions for Senran Kagura, there are quite a few videos that do get monetized just fine. At the beginning, it was most of them, then it was some of them, and now, flat out, from the 39th episode onward, I'm just getting nothing but yellow. This whole entire batch got demonetized. And I thought that was really weird because usually there are some that do get monetized. And then I did my second session. There are a couple other videos here that do get monetized. You know, some other, you know, news videos, reactions, you know, commentary and stuff like that. And then I made another session for Senran Kagura with the Miyabi story. And the entirety of this got demonetized as well. When I initially started uploading these videos, I think this one, the Yoma Attack one, and the Fighting For You one, I think one of these three, you know, they did show up at the beginning with the green dollar sign to show that it was monetized. But then I would refresh the page when the video was done processing, and it would just automatically be demonetized. This is not a manual review. This is very obviously like a YouTube algorithm kind of thing. Even now, as I'm searching for Senran Kagura Burst Renewal videos specifically on my channel, you can see this waterfall of yellow. So all of these other previous videos, I remember pretty vividly that there are a few that are monetized. You see here you have two, you know, Shake My Hand. You see, this is the weird part, because you clearly have the thumbnail for Hikage topless, censored obviously, but you know, this thumbnail is so much more sexual than any of these other thumbnails for, you know, that do get demonetized. You know, I look at this stupid snake and that gets demonetized, you know, but the one with Hikage topless lying on the floor, oh, like a sexy pose, that one gets monetized. So it's really weird how the YouTube algorithm determines what's demonetizable and what is monetizable. Like, it's just really odd, especially when the vast majority of these videos are kind of the same, which I know is kind of a diss on myself, that, oh, you know, everything is the same. No, but I mean, like, content-wise, you know, I don't really add anything else to it that makes it more sexual. Obviously, my commentary is very unfiltered, you know, I curse all the time, and I just talk real in whatever way that I wish, as opposed to a more subdued, Disney family-friendly kind of way. And then there's this other video where I have a Mewtwo thumbnail on it just for a joke. That's monetized, and it's just yellow, yellow, yellow. There we go. I found two more, close together as well. Here with Choco, the dog, and Our Purpose. Yeah, very story-heavy episodes, it seems. This one, another very story-heavy episode with 100 views. Also monetizable. So that's what, like 5 episodes out of like the 50-something that I've uploaded already on YouTube? Let's go to the next page. I'm sure... Yeah, I vividly remember a lot more green here. Like, it's strange. Like, suddenly, all of these videos keep getting demonetized later on. Okay, so here you start to see a little bit more. Just a bit more green. It's really odd how, you know, the green ones are kind of in a group, always stuck right next to one another, and then it's like this big group of yellow. And then here, another pair. And again, a lot of these are these really long, like 40-minute, hour-long, really narrative-heavy segments, but then like the shorter ones with, you know, with mostly just the battles, those get demonetized. So that's what I'm saying, you know, at the beginning, there were some videos, at least, from my bulk sessions that got monetized, and not all of them. But now that I'm seeing here with my most recent batch, like, literally, all of them, no exceptions, they all get demonetized. Even if during processing, they do show up as monetized, they flat out just, you know, they immediately become demonetized the moment they fully process and they're uploaded, scheduled, and ready to go. This can't be a manual review because, you know, these are all uploads that I have had ahead of time, you know? These are not even videos that have come out already. I've scheduled them for, like, weeks in advance, so it's not like somebody can look at it and be like, oh, you know, we have determined that it's bad. No, like, it seemed like the algorithm itself, before the video even comes out, has already demonetized it. So as I said, I left it. I said, you know what? Yeah, I just posted that there, and I just kind of forgot about it. But apparently, that was worth the attention of some people, because, something that I was not expecting in a million years is that, somebody made an article about me. I think I've covered this website on the channel before for news stories and stuff. OneAngryGamer.net. Now, somebody by the name of Billy D actually wrote an article about my channel specifically, which is crazy. This, to me, still feels very unreal. Like, I am not relevant in any way at all, you know, much less, you know, article-worthy, but here we are. YouTube demonetized the Senran Kagura burst renewal videos on Good Game Have Fun channel. I still can't believe that my channel name is on someone else's article on the internet and that other people have seen it. That's like, wow. The fact that anybody even cares about the content that I make that gets like 50 to 100 views per video, like, that's shocking to me. So, you know, I really don't know if to say thank you or something, because, you know, I just wish it was on better terms. I just wish that, you know, somebody made an article about me as in, like, look at how great his content is. No, instead, my article debut is like, look, this guy's getting demonetized. It says, content creators are beginning to feel the pinch as YouTube is cracking down all sorts of content featuring any kind of sexy characters, suggestive dialogue, or anything that YouTube finds socially reprehensible. On March 12th, 2019, YouTuber, okay, you gotta put a comma there after 2019, because that, it just, you know, flows awkwardly when you say immediately YouTuber after that. It kind of implies that I'm a YouTuber from 2019 specifically, and that I haven't been making YouTube for 12 years. YouTube videos for 12 years, I mean. You gotta add a little comma after that one. YouTuber Good Game Have Fun took to his Twitter account, The Hat Person, and notified the community of all of his latest Senran Kagura burst renewal videos, that they have been demonetized, yeah. Notifying the community. I like the wording of it. You know, they kind of make it sound like, you know, I'm doing my job and reporting to the community about this thing, when in reality, you know, again, as I said, I have like 100 followers on Twitter, 1,000 on YouTube, and absolutely nothing on Twitch. So it's not like I'm reporting and notifying the community. You know, for me, the guy that nobody knows about. I kind of just tweeted it out as like a little observation, and then, like, you know, nobody ever responds or does anything about it. You know, no one cares. It's like, you know, just put it out there and that's it. You know, just a little update on what I've personally been doing. Not necessarily notifying the community. You know, they kind of make it sound so much more noble than it actually is. But sure, man, it's whatever. And yeah, so it's my original tweet here with the photo. And, you know, is the tweet that I already talked about. And, yeah, the article continues and says, we don't know exactly what the issue was with Senran Kagura videos, given that we know that the game doesn't actually contain sexual content. Well, it does contain sexual content, but not as overtly as people kind of make it out to be, you know? That's the thing. And even then, it's censored, you know? It's really not that bad. If you really want to look at, you know, full-on sexual content, I guess you can look at the anime. That one has, like, uncensored boobage on it. And, of course, there's other, like, fan-made hentai out there that's not even official. So, you know, yeah. The sexual content is nowhere near as bad as people kind of make it out to be. However, we do know that they contain sexually suggestive content. Okay, there we go. That's a nice distinction to make, you know? One thing is sexual, and then another thing is sexually suggestive. And I think that's what Senran Kagura is. Such as, there we go, censored nudity and girls getting, their clothing getting blasted off. Yeah, and it's made for the sake of comedy, you know? I think a Westerner's perspective on sexual content is more of that, like, dirty, smutty, like, very sleazy, like, oh, you're doing a naughty thing, you know, like that kind of thing. Especially with the way that, you know, pornography is made in America, where it's all, like, very, like, dirty and sleazy and, you know, kind of trashy sort of thing, right? Where they really make you feel like you're doing something bad, that, you know, that's prohibited. But, in Japan, it's a lot more flowery, you know, a little bit more romantic, a little bit more comedy-focused as well. It focuses a lot more on cuteness, so it's a lot more bright and a little bit more positive. As opposed to in America, where, like, you know, you gotta go to these seedy fucking places to be able to get your rocks off, you know? And of course, when you bring the Japanese game over to the West, then people just kind of make assumptions, right? And that's kind of where the problems end up coming out. An example is featured in this video, courtesy of Sex Gravy. And this is just a video showing off all the Shinobi transformations. I don't know how this counts as a good example, is just the transformations. I kind of figured that it would be like an actual video talking about, you know, like covering the game in terms of its sexual content and how it's done and how it's implemented. But no, it's just a montage of transformations. I feel like I need more info than just that, but okay. What this means is basically that for content creators like Good Game Have Fun or GGHF, there we go, you got the abbreviation down. They're going to be less inclined to make content based around games or products that are going to be instantly demonetized. Well, I always bring up the example of Cinnamon Toast Ken. He's a YouTuber who I enjoy, you know, I see his collabs with PewDiePie and stuff, and he's funny, I like him. But there was one part where I got a little bit annoyed with him, because he was talking on Twitter about how he wanted to, like, you know, have a brand new game, something different for him to play on his channel, something interesting, and, you know, kind of, you know, more distinct for him to play. And I think somebody said, oh, you can play Senran Kagura, and then he immediately responds with, oh, demonetized views are worthless. So, like, he wants something different and distinct and cool and fun, but if he can't make money off of it, then it doesn't count, and he doesn't want to, you know, he doesn't want to try it out, right? You know, something new if I can gain money from it, and, you know, whatever, that guy's he has a family, he has kids, people gotta eat, you know? I understand that. If you do YouTube for a living, then I guess you are more, you know, privy to staying away from all of that, I get it, but that still felt kind of shitty to me, you know? Yeah, how about something new and different that can expand my mindset? Oh, not that though, because I get demonetized. I can't make any money off of it, so therefore that's not worth my time. It could be the greatest game in the world, but if it gets demonetized, then I'm not gonna play it. You know, to me that's like, okay, you know, kind of sort of like 1/4 fuck you, but 3/4 I kind of get it, you know? And so, when it says that people are going to be less inclined to make this kind of content, I understand in terms of other people, especially bigger YouTubers. For me personally, as a guy who doesn't really make a living off of this, as a person who really does it just for the fun, I'm not, you know, this demonetization thing has been fairly common for me. Ever since the demonetization thing has been a thing, you know, ever since that yellow dollar sign has existed, I've always been faced with these kinds of problems, and I've never even bothered to fight it, because again, 1,000 subscribers, I get like 5 to 10 views per video, and only with Senran Kagura, which is my niche, maybe I get 50 to 100, so even within my specialty, barely anybody watches it, so what the hell is the point in fighting any of it, right? It's not gonna be worth the trouble. But that's still not gonna stop me, from making them and continue to upload them, because it's fun and I like it, and I like making these videos as a way to show people that there's more to Senran Kagura than just the softcore porn, pandering to 12-year-olds and that kind of stuff. So I still make them, and, you know, I'm even looking for a job right now, so obviously, you know, that I'm gonna use that money to sustain myself and continue making these videos, you know? And of course, I also have my Patreon and PayPal and, you know, places where people can donate, so, I feel like most of my, you know, most of the very tiny income that I get out of YouTube usually comes from that and never really from advertisements. So yeah, there really is no reason for me to stop making these. But again, if I was like, you know, like a 5 million subscriber YouTuber, and every day I'm making these videos and they all get demonetized, okay, well that's my job at stake, you know, I'm not getting paid for any of it, that would be a problem, and maybe then I'd stop and, you know, just make something else that is a bit more family friendly. Which, yeah, it is kind of shitty, because that's YouTube kind of pushing people around, you know? Technically, they're not censoring or stopping anything, because they're like, oh, your video's out on YouTube, but you're not gonna make any money, right? They're kind of like low-key discouraging people from making this kind of content. You know, if you want money, and you want to, you know, be on our platform, and, you know, make a living off of this, then you gotta make what we think is okay for you to make. So, yeah, you know? But we're not censoring you because the video is still up. We didn't take the video down, right? You just don't get to make money off of that, right? So for YouTube to say, you know, to be the people to kind of, you know, to say what's allowed and what's not allowed, to be made a, you know, to make a job off of, that to me is kind of ridiculous. And the article does say it's a deterrent, basically, so that content creators focus on the kind of content YouTube is willing to monetize. Yeah, I mean, that's a much more succinct one-sentence way of saying all of the other stuff that I just said for way too long. To GGH Chef's credit, he did keep the Senran Kagura burst renewal videos online. Okay, this guy is giving me credit for leaving them up. I don't know why he would assume that I would just immediately delete them because of it. But as I said, you know, tiny YouTuber, No one cares about me or the content that I make other than, you know, like the handful of people that are like on my Discord and on my streams, and I'm eternally grateful to them. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm a nobody. I couldn't even influence a fly if I wanted to. So, you know, I don't see what the big deal is when it comes to the demonetization. It's not this earth-shattering thing because I'm not, you know, making a living off of this anyway. So, hey, I've been dealing with this whole demonetization thing for the longest time, so for me, this really wasn't anything new. This was just a bit more overt than usual, you know? Because as I said, usually there's like 2 or 3 videos that always get monetized and they stay like that, but now here, like, 100% no doubt demonetized, and so that's kind of the novelty here. And really nice for the guy to, you know, pimp out my playlist. The entire playlist for all of my Senran Kagura videos are here, so hey, thank you very much for the plug there. If YouTube continues to demonetize content like Senran Kagura or remove videos from certain YouTubers, it's likely that will compel YouTubers to just abandon any kind of risque games or media altogether. I mean, yeah, probably, and again, as I said, if you're a much bigger YouTuber and you are making a living off of this, then obviously you're gonna want to stay away from as many demonetizable things as possible. So yeah, Billy D was the one that made the article, so thank you very much. You know, I never in a million years would expect anybody to do a video on a tiny YouTuber like me, and, you know, have my channel name on the damn headline. Jesus! I made headlines! That's how you know that you've made it, even though not really. But yeah, something that started off as, you know, just me uploading videos as usual and then taking to Twitter to just kind of vent about it. It ended up with, you know, other people just kind of talking about it thanks to this article. Yeah, fairly surprising, but I'm kind of glad that it's happening because, you know, more people are being aware of this. You know, just kind of spreading more awareness of, you know, the kind of content that gets, you know, monetized or demonetized, what's acceptable and what's not. And it's not just affecting bigger YouTubers, right? Because then people start covering people like PewDiePie or, you know, some other million-plus subscriber guy. And then that guy with his enormously large fan base, you know, they start to, like, cause a lot of noise, right? But what about the smaller guys, right? Which I would argue is the majority. You know, what about the smaller people that don't really have that voice, that don't really have that clout, that don't really have, you know, their army of followers that can annoy the shit out of a company, you know, to fix the problem for them, you know? What about people like me that only has, like, fucking 5 or 6 really dedicated fans on my Discord? And, you know, we can't do anything with that. So, you know, the fact that they are, you know, that the websites like these really are kind of turning to, you know, the smaller YouTubers, the smaller people that don't really have a voice, and kind of bringing more attention to it, I think that's a good thing. Now, granted, do I think that my videos are going to be monetized just because this article came out? I really don't think so. I feel like everything is going to be the same as always. I don't feel like anything is going to change because of it. But I appreciate the gesture either way. So, thank you very much, you know, for plugging the channel, for, you know, showing my tweets, plugging the, you know, the playlist. Yeah, you know, hopefully it just kind of goes to show that maybe you can make a difference, you know, maybe you are capable of, you know, making some sort of difference or inspiring other people to talk or something like that, you know, for a tiny person like me. You see, I'm already getting updates on my Twitter. It's like, hey, the hat person, you're in the news now? Yeah, I know. Bella D Gaming, another follower of mine. Also, yeah, is retweeting the damn thing. Yeah, had that problem before as well. One reason why I stopped monetizing. You cannot make content you like with a target audience. Note, all SKIMs are gone in YouTube gaming. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. So when I live stream, obviously, you know, you can put a video game category in there. You know, if you're playing Mario Brothers, you can say, oh, Super Mario Brothers, that's what I'm playing right now, right? And so for the longest time, when I was playing Senran Kagura, I would say, I'm playing Senran Kagura Estival Versus, or Shinobi Versus, or whatever. And it would show up on there. And then one day, almost magically, all of those games were completely gone from the YouTube gaming list. It was only Senran Kagura New Link, the phone game, that was actually in that list. But all of the other games that I would usually type in there are completely and utterly gone from the YouTube gaming categories. It's still up on Twitch, but on YouTube is gone, which I think is really, really odd. I guess that was kind of a precursor. It does kind of go to show that they were planning on demonetizing and kind of just shooing away this kind of content to begin with. which is a little scary because, you know, Senran Kagura and anime games in general, that's my bread and butter, man. That's what I love doing. That's how I got a big portion of my audience. You know, that's kind of like the niche that I've started growing with. And so to see it kind of get pushed down and suppressed by YouTube, that to me kind of, you know, gives me the light bulb of like, okay, you know, I've been getting really frustrated and kind of depressed over my complete lack of growth on YouTube. You know, I've done many videos over the years. I've been a YouTuber for a very long time, and I only have 1,700 followers. But I've kept making these videos. I keep getting demonetized, and this category of videos specifically, you know, seems to be, you know, getting shooed away. The category for these games are gone. These videos specifically are getting demonetized as opposed to my Dragon Quest videos, my news videos, my commentary videos, my anything. It seemed like this specifically is getting demonetized. And of course, that also comes with not showing up on the recommended page. And, you know, maybe because I am not getting that exposure, because my channel has this kind of content, maybe that explains why I've been so small for so long. Maybe if I made more family-friendly content, maybe if I made something that was more monetizable, maybe it would reach more people. But now, that would not really be true to who I am. It would not be true to what I like to do, to what I like to cover. So, we're in a bit of an impasse. I don't know how I can, you know, figure this out, or I don't know who I can contact for this, but I have the slight suspicion that maybe just my channel as a whole has been secretly, you know, maybe blacklisted by YouTube, you know, because I do know that that's a thing, you know, where certain channels just magically just don't show up in the recommended, you know, they don't show up in the new and upcoming people. It doesn't really show up anywhere, you know, they just kind of exist. They're not necessarily getting taken down, they're just not being highlighted anymore. So that could probably be the reason for why, you know, my channel really hasn't grown beyond just, you know, 50 to 100 views per video. I almost want to test it out. I'm almost tempted to maybe make a brand new channel and just call it whatever, and just make other kinds of videos on there, you know? Maybe not family-friendly, but, you know, maybe not as sexually explicit or sexually suggestive. You know, all of the stuff that YouTube doesn't like, you know, just not do that. And maybe put, you know, other videos on another channel and see how that goes. And see how fast I grow there. You know, just as an experiment. Just to try it out and see what happens. Because I feel like after doing YouTube for basically 12 years now, and make the glacial growth that I've had now, you know, it's kind of coming to the point where, you know, any other explanation will probably be, okay, I'm making a lot of, like, non-family friendly content, and I know that people have gotten suppressed. You know, even people like Philip DeFranco, you know, they cover sensitive topics, and that gets suppressed as well, so that less people can watch it. So maybe I'm not an exception, right? And because I'm a really small YouTuber, who the hell is gonna care? Who's gonna notice, right? I'm just another person that just gets shooed away in favor of more family-friendly stuff, you know? Maybe that could be it. Either that or my videos just suck and no one cares, right? That could easily be it, because, you know, I do have other videos on my channel, like the Mother 4 video, like my reactions to, you know, video game announcements and stuff, and, those take off, way more than any of my non-family-friendly content, I guess, so maybe it's just the Senran Kagura video specifically, but who knows, you know, it could be many different explanations, but I'm just kind of speculating all the potential things. But yeah, thank you very much everybody for watching this video. Thank you for listening to me ramble and ramble and ramble on for far too long. What is it, 37 minutes? God damn it, I really gotta put a lid on my talking, because I can go for so goddamn long. If you guys enjoyed this video, of course, you guys know what to do. To anybody that can see it, give me a like, and of course you can subscribe, hit that bell icon, and you can, you know, comment whatever you want, and all social media links are down in the description below. This has been me, THP, signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!